Do you want an absolute workhorse of the sea, which is also a little bit soft and cuddly on the inside? If that is you, keep watching. So if sustaining high average speeds in the ocean is important to you, then you should focus your attention on a Grady White. That's the main point. I've driven a few of these boats now, and that's a real takeaway to me. It's a true, really well built, moderately heavy compared to some of the boats you see on my channel, very wide. And when I say soft and cuddly on the inside, quite luxury is what I'm talking about, girls. So you will be happy if you want to spend a day on board one of these, because you are going to be you're greeted with a lot of comforts that you won't find on other boats, and a lot of protection from the weather. So that's what we're going to focus on. And what are we on? We're on the 386 Canyon. So this is based on the previous 376 Canyon hull, but we've got a whole bunch of differences up on deck and a lot of improvements. And I really am a fan of boats that improved over time, that are not completely new inventions, if that's the right word, because when you have a tried and tested and a proven hull and then you improve upon it, then you get a great product that is worthy of keeping for a long amount of time. So if you want something that's going to give you a lower amount of hassles, every boat requires maintenance, so don't expect to buy something that lives in salt water and sunshine and not have to maintain it. But if you want something that's going to really look after you, then I think a Grady White is absolutely worthy of your attention. So, my name's Dan Jones, by the way. We're in Australia, we're in Sydney, you're watching Dan's Boat Life. And if you are a buyer, or you're really interested in learning more about this boat, we're going to be going for a test drive. We do have some waves out there today. We had a little bit of wind. It's not the best weather, and I love filming Grady's in weather like this, to be honest, because it's a true proper test. So that's coming up later. If you are wanting to get a little bit of behind the scenes or more information, that's going to be over on my Patreon channel, and you can support the channel there, because I don't get paid for these videos. So basically, I'm trying to keep myself independent, and that's how we do it, through the Patreon. And you can talk to me over there, and hopefully, if I can't answer all the questions or give you the feedback that you need, I'll find someone who can, because that seems to be what's happening. Let's get out here and have a look at the motors, because we've got a couple of options. These are the beautiful 450s. So you don't have to have the 450s, you can have the 350s, but the 450s are the max horsepower available to us. And just look how tidy the transom is. Now, it's not a step through transom, so obviously this has got more of a fishing focus. I'm not going to pretend that I am a fisherman. I'm just learning how to spearfish at the moment, and I'm really enjoying it, by the way. I might have to make a video about that at some point. But I am aware that a closed transom is important to some of you guys. Feel free to jump in the comments if you know more about fishing than I. Out the back here, we've got the diesel in, which is for our Fisher Panda genset, and we've got the shore power connector on the starboard side. We do have a decent amount of space if you just wanted to use this place as somewhere to pee in the water like I did earlier, or jump in the ocean, but you don't really need to board the boat, because we've got two really nice opening side doors with a swim ladder that will deploy. So that's probably the more logical place to get in and out of the water, because we have a ladder which just clicks on there. Starboard and port, same thing on port side, and that makes a lot more sense for getting back on board. Now, one of the points that are worth pointing out, if you are a buyer for one of these, basically everything that you look at today is part of the standard package. The only options available to us, it's the Barbie, it's the outriggers. We've got a sunshade up the front. Was there one other thing, Lockie?
The whole colour?
And the whole colour, that's right. So not a lot to it, because the Jenny, the Seakeeper, that's all standard. The motors, I suppose you can go smaller motors if you want. We'll just check with your dealer on that one. But everything else that you look at it's a standard package. This is not one of the boats that attract you with the low price, and then you got to go up and up and up and up and up and up, which you will see a lot of those on my channel too. The Europeans really like to do that to grab your attention. That's their strategy. It works for them. Good luck to them. Grady White are not following that methodology. So let's have a look out the back here. We've got some live bait tanks. We currently have fenders stowed in them. I'm going to open up the kill tank, which is also, boom, boom. This is refrigerated. I had to ring Ryan because I wasn't sure, because normally you see like a cooling plate, but it's actually been designed to be on the other side of this molding here. You can separate it with this one here if you just maybe wanted to do ice there and other items on this side, and it's drained as well, insulated, and we've got the gas strut, everything ultra high quality. Love seeing that. Over here, we've got our swim shower, so that just pulls out there. You got the control there, and that's proper stainless, not plastic. Now I might show you on the port side. Okay, that just gives you a feel for the space, and then we've got the pop-up cleats, boom, boom, and we've got them midships and forward as well. You're gonna see rod holders all around the place, but that facilitates the hanging of a fender. So the fenders have their own little clips in there. You just set the right height with the rope and you hang it over the side. This is the magnetic stopper for the opening side door, which we saw on the other side. And then you've got, there you go, storage in there for tackle. We've got this lovely seat here, which is nice foam, very comfortable, and a bit of an angle on the backrest. So it's speed. This is a great place to rock and roll, and she does go very fast. You're going to see that in the test drive. Let me see if I can do this properly. Boom, boom. But you can also get it out of the way. So now we've got a lot more workable space. Underneath me is technical access. So that gets us into the genset, the bilge, and other technical spaces that we need to. And more tackle storage here. This is your engine flush. So you just plug in a hose, 1, 2, 3, that's plumbed in, and then just leave the engines running. You can give that a freshwater flush just there. We've got more cleats on that side. I think now let's focus our attention just here. So this part of the console, compared to the earlier model, it's a lot wider. We now have 4 seats instead of 3 on the previous model. The way they have achieved that, yes, it's the same hull, but I assume the deck molding has changed because this distance here is a little bit less. That's how they've got the extra beam, and big blokes can still walk through here, no worries. Multiple people can pass by reducing this width just here, and it's still plenty wide. You know, you can still sit up here, no worries, communicate. I love doing that on this style of boat. You come to literally where we are right now when it's not the middle of winter. You can see I've got my winter scarf on, but when it's a nice day, sitting around on a boat like this is a really fun social place to be. And I just want to keep stressing, this is not just for fishermen. Yes, I know it's perfect fishing boat, but you know, you want to rock and roll across a really rough Sydney Harbour day when there's lots of boat wash, lots of wind chop, just things that are unexpected from a weather perspective. On a hull like this, your area of operations are going to be kind of unlimited because you can maintain those high 20s, low 30s, and you're just not worrying about anything that the ocean throws at you. And it's a different experience. Quite a pleasurable one, I must say. Okay, Barbie, there's your sink. That's your bin just there. This all just seems like Corian. It's a sensible, nice, flat surface. We've got drink holders there and there, knife holders in there, more rod holders there and up there as well. And then we've got storage drawers, same there and there, speakers, grab handle just here. It's got quite a low center of gravity, and this is a big, substantial platform, so you can actually still move around it without feeling like you need to hold on all the time. It's not a bouncy boat underway, if that makes sense to some of you. A little bit of storage under here, rod holder. I think what we'll do, we'll just go straight forward and we'll come back to the helm because there's some cool stuff going on. This is all padded. That's your midships cleat. You can hang a fender there, fuel tank, fill up point just there on the midships, and we've got the waist out there. So you can see the distance from the helm is not very far. Being a center console, everything's pretty easy. The gunnels, they raise a little bit with the flared bow, so now we have a little bit more space. So if you were sending someone perhaps a little bit older who had to go forward and pick up a mooring and you're worried about it from a safety perspective, because some boats that you see me test, when you get to the bow, you go up to the sun lounge, which means this height might be at your knees. That's going to be dodgy for your mum, perhaps. If the boat's rocking around, this one probably won't be, because you could activate the Seakeeper, but you don't really want her standing up there and then going in the drink, trying to pull up the mooring. Whereas here, see how you can lean like this with a boat hook? It's a much safer design if you want to send your parents or your grandparents forward to go and pick up a mooring. So this is lovely. So this table's new. This diamond stitching, it's got a bit of crisscross vibes, if you ask me. I think it's quite fancy, but I love this. This is an electric table. It'll go up and down. She's a solid number. Fiberglass, just, you know, same finish as the deck. Perfect picnic spot for 4 people, and you can have that optional sunshade up here, but it will drop down. So there's a button just there which will electrically operate that. But you may have noticed a button here and a second one there, and that electrically operates the backrest. And I would run up here at speed, moderate speed, not in the ocean, in flat water, because this hull's just so lovely. She has quite a bit of V forward, and I can notice it when you're barreling along through some waves. The front of the boat is cutting up. It's connecting with those waves quite early. It's not taking those vibrations into the middle of the boat, and then the flare just sends that wash out. It just feels solid, and it's just a very pleasurable place to be. Okay, a little bit of soft touch Grady White logo here. Lots of, also, you're probably going to use this as a casting platform, perhaps some of you. So that's definitely walkable. It does have some grip up here. We can operate the anchor from here, but we also operated it from the helm. We've got the safety just here, and it's gow chain. I think there's about 10 meters of gow chain, and then as you can see, it goes to road, and we've got our cleat just here if we need to. And the anchor does seem to balance itself as it's exiting the water. We've used it a couple of times today, and it comes up into the slot in the correct direction, which is always good, so you don't embarrass yourself. A couple of pop-up cleats here and here, and then you can see more rod holders, and this is a drink holder. Are they drained? Oh yes, they are. That's good. That's always handy. We've got a good amount of storage underneath this seat and this seat, and then we've got more storage in these drawers. Are they soft close? Just regular close, I think. They're all plastic, complete plastic construction, so that's going to last a long time. So this has got a good angle to it. Oh, but it's wet. It's got a wet bum. Okay. I'm going to stay off it. Damn it. I should have checked before. So nice angle, comfortable underway, armrests, and then you can lock yourself in there when you're going fast. But you also have this, this is Corian, that's matching what we saw down aft, but they've even designed a little drain. Can you see that? Little drain there. So if you get a little bit of light rain like we've been having today, it's not going to drown your phone. Sensible, good thinking. Thank you, whoever designed that. So I like it. This is quite nice. Solid, and we've tested it through some real lumpy waves. What do you reckon was the biggest one we took today? 3 meters? Like, it felt that big one that that was a few meters. Nothing moved. Nothing moved. You know, it's so nice to be able to roll boats through a few waves, because you will find out how it's built, because you'll feel it. And I definitely find out, because I'm down in the cabin flying my drone. So if we're rolling off 2, 3, 4 meter waves, I'll notice this thing's just built well, like nothing moved. Then when I drove it myself, you can see this metal construction holding this thick glass. It's safety glass, by the way. It just didn't move, which is just awesome. And hence why I use the term battle wagon. So up on the roof here, You could walk around up on this for sure if you needed to do some work, but you can see your VHFs, you can see your outriggers, which are optional. You've got your opening sunroof just there to allow some air down into that part of the boat. We've got aerials, horn, radar, and we've also got the shore shade, which is mounted up high, so you don't really notice it from down low, and that electrically deploys to deploy shade on the back, on the aft cockpit just there. Got the one windscreen, and we've got the grab handle, stainless. That's kind of neatly designed, so it's well hidden away, but it's operational. And you can also hang a fender off this if you needed to. So it gives you another option as opposed to just having these in the two spots there and there. So I'd probably do a big thick fender to mount off these and set that up for my dock, and then I'd have a couple more fenders just on rope so I can tie them in different locations as I see fit. Seems logical. Obviously you've got storage for, as you can see there, fish hooks. There's water access forward and aft. Okay, was that fresh or salt? Raw, that one's raw. And I'm sure we have fresh somewhere else. Oh, there we do. On the other side, right there, thank you. Oh, actually, I just noticed something. I don't know what's under here. Let's have a look under here, Lockie. Oh, okay, so that gives you access into the anchor locker. I didn't notice that before. That's handy. Excellent. So I've got Fusion speakers, and I've got the Fusion subwoofer in the middle of the boat. That's probably going to give you a good amount of bass, because I reckon this is going to work like a boombox. So I'd say that's been well positioned. We've got a fire extinguisher just here, and now I think it's time to focus our attention on this lovely Helm station. So just get a load of these seats. They're very nice, and I like the diamond stitching, how they've done that. Let's just sit on it. So this is handy for the driver, because you can then get up and get into position, and that's a comfortable space. And you are going to sit like this for periods of time if you're running out to the shelf. Look at your vis forward, so just point the camera forward, Lockie, allow everyone to see. On acceleration, she's a big boat, and you will have different weight distributions depending on your mates and your fuel load. So you might have to do some trim tab down on initial acceleration if you're my height, because you will get a bit of hour raise and you can't see. Just accelerate with a bit of gusto, with a bit of aggression, and maybe have half trim tab down, and you won't actually have that. If you don't have trim tab, you'll lose vision for a short amount of time, and then it'll come back when you're up on the plane. So these seats will go forward as well. So all the way to there. Actually, I'll just show you, because I'm the short guy. So see how I can still put my feet there and be comfortable. And then for you big blokes, let's just do this. I think it's a bit easier to do it with the bolster up. That's how much space you've got, and it's proper American style. Like, look at all the head height we've got above us, and you do feel like you've got a lot of beam around the place as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We've also got these drop-down footrests, which make life comfortable as well. Plenty of storage. We actually have batteries in underneath there, but it's a great place for your safety gear. That's good for instrument covers, maybe a few phones. I'd say same again on this side. That's your disconnect for the bow thruster. So that's pretty cool. Storage for life jackets up here. I'd say same again, possibly also. I can see some fuses in there. I just can't see what they say. EPIRB, that's a good place to store it there. And then we've got some downlights just above us here. And just look at how much protection we're getting from this windscreen. And we didn't take much water onto the windscreen today. We had one big wave where we got a few little splashes, and we have cleaned that off before this walkthrough to make the boat look pretty. But other than that, these things are very, very dry ride. So you kind of have to be pushing it a little bit, like we were, because we wanted to test the hull in order to encourage that to happen. So you do have this vent forward and high, so that allows for some airflow. So if you're in, if you're in Queensland or Florida, that might be enjoyable. A couple more speakers just here and here. But we also have AC. So if you can pay attention to the design, see how you got bolt rope tracks here. I would say this is allowing for a plastic enclosure, this area here. So possibly some of you guys would actually do that in AC, this area, and maybe even take the AC from the cabin if you leave that door open as well to keep this area nice and cool. Are there more AC vents around here? No, I can't see. Sometimes in really hot countries, like in Thailand or Singapore, it's nice to have some AC on your, you know what, I'm just saying, I've experienced that now and I can't go back. It was very comfortable. So, Helm, blacked out. This looks kind of cool. Then we got leather just over the dash here, and these look like 17-inch flat screens. They're twin Garmin's, multifunctional display, of course. We operate everything from here. So we did the Seakeeper. We can do, obviously, our navigation. All our engine diagnostics can feed through there. And this looks like carbon fiber. We've got carbon here over the black, and we've got all of our switching. And it's important things like the vent operation, the shade in and out, the windlass up and down, your bilge, your horn, your navigation lights, underwater lights. They are all here. So you're not having to dig into this system and muck around when you're underway, because that can be annoying for some of those important bits and pieces that you need to operate. You've obviously got the autopilot for the Yamaha on there. We've got the joystick with the stay point, fish point, drift point operation to the starboard side of the throttles. And you can do start, stop, all three motors, or you can do individual starts, boom, port, center, starboard, just there. Battery operation there. And once again, it's also nice to have the Fusion on its own control as opposed to trying to do it in the flat screen. That's a little bit annoying in my opinion, because it's just another time to have to go away from your main screen and muck around looking for the stereo, which I don't enjoy doing when I'm underway bouncing through waves, because my hands are moving and I can't touch the button. So just that is what it is. You got your phone charging over here on the starboard side. That just works like that. That is a great piece of tech for a boat that's going to go in the ocean, and that's just contactless charging there, and it holds your phone in place. Got another 12-volt Siggy charger just there. What are these? Oh, more chargers. So we've got USB-C and the original USB, and same again on that side. So you could actually have 4 phones on charge up here and a 5th one just there. That's kind of handy. And we do actually have drink holders for all 4 people up here at the helm. Very clever. Trim tabs, I think I pointed that out before. This is your VHF plug just here. And am I missing anything under the helm? That's your speaker for the VHF just there. Grab handles all around. Just built like a battle wagon. It's just, that's the vibes I get everywhere on this boat. Okay, I think I've covered everything. Let's go downstairs and check out the accommodation. So we've got the entrance through a door now instead of a side entrance as we had on the previous model. Before I go there, I just want to point out that the floor has a little bit of a camber to it. So here, I'm higher than here, okay? So when you're at the helm, you are actually at the higher position. So she's a sliding companionway door. You've got a lock here, and you go down these quite large stairs. So there's not too much of an aggressive angle on those. It's a little bit luxurious. And I do recall seeing this on the bigger Grady, so I think they have possibly been inspired by the bougie finishings and brought them down to this model is what I seem to be seeing here. But quickly just run you through some of the features on the entrance before we get into the cabin itself. So you activate your AC mains and then your DC mains here and here, and then they're all individually switched and they're marked in English. Obviously, you can switch from ship to shore for your shore power versus generator. Just there, light switches, air conditioning. That's the aft cockpit cooler gauge just there. That's your genset fuel, so that's the diesel intake that I spoke about before. This is actually instrument covers, is a sort of minor point, but kind of cool these days. I think they're like magnetic or something. That's a little bit better than what we used to see. Got a TV just here, 4 rod holders, couple of drawers. That looks like AC inlet, and I see lots of Corian complemented with timber and leather all around the place. But you do step down, this is all drained, and that's access into the bilge on this timber floor. But you could utilize this area as a little place to come down, hang out, eat a meal, enjoy the air conditioning, etc. Yes, it's been designed as a sleeping space, so this will drop down, turn into a bed. I didn't notice any storage underneath here, but are you going to sleep on it? Jump into the comments and let me know. I don't know. More rod storage on either side. I see an AC outlet pumping forward and phone charging with a drink holder on the port side. And I also see more charging, 12 volt and 240. In this case, because we're in Australia, it would be 110 for you American blokes, just here on the starboard side. And then here we have this little kitchenette. Is that what we're going to call it? Yeah, let's call it a kitchenette. With this little fridge here, we've got the Corian benchtop with the stainless steel sink and a bin. I guess you could put some food in there so it won't roll out of the way in a seaway. That seems kind of logical. Put a few bits and pieces here. You've got the ledge there. It's all lit up. Got the microwave if you want to reheat some food. And of course, we've got a proper toilet. So maybe, Lockie, you go there and I'll open this door. I'm standing up with plenty of headroom in this particular part of the boat. Like, it's still perfectly fine for big blokes. And then as you come into this head compartment, once again, you know, I'm 5'7". Let me just do that with one hand. I got that much space standing up, and you can definitely have plenty of beam and length. So if you've got long legs, and if you're a beamy bloke or lady, you're going to be perfectly comfortable in this head compartment. And we've got all of these opening, 1, 2, 3, to get in behind the helm. Okay, so if you need to do any electrical work behind the helm, that's possible. Same again behind the head. It's a vacuum flush toilet system, this one. This is actually storage in here, so cleaning, loo rolls, etc. will go fine just there. Your shampoos and conditioners, it's even got individual toothbrush holders there. Mirror, you do have a blind with these magnetic holders for privacy. It is air conditioned. We've got the down lights just here, and the shower is one of these fancy ones. Boom, boom. That seems to be well constructed, and the toilet roll holder is hidden with the plastic, so you're not going to ruin things. And that is actually further access into the bilge through that little hatch just there. And you see you've got the big ledge here, so if you did use this as your shower space, no water is going to exit into the cabin. So sensibly designed. So that's the Battle Wagon, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed that. It's not just a fishing boat in my not educated fisherman, but definitely educated boatman's opinion, all right? So it's just such a wonderful, capable, solid platform, and you really do notice the extra displacement, the extra beam, and the extra quality. This thing's been built with it to a high degree, basically, compared to a lot of the boats you see me testing in Europe. So you just cannot deny. I think a lot of the new features that we see on deck here seem sensible and well designed, and clearly that's come from input from people who boat, and that seems pretty obvious. So what do you think? Do you want to buy something like this? Because if you do and you want to see how it drives, that's the next video. So click on the screen somewhere now and join us in that video, and then we're going to make some extra content over on my Patreon channel, and that's where you guys can talk to me if you wish. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share with your mates. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all the comments, because it's you guys watching these videos, commenting and sharing, that allows me to keep bringing these boats to you, and I thoroughly enjoy what I'm doing. Thanks, guys.